Welcome back to Class Culture, the Tree of Life, episode number 12. Thank you so much for returning back to Oddities and Curiosities, the Tree of Life. We have heard so many different versions from so many different cultures. It's okay to say we accept whatever you choose to believe or have faith in. But we are going to talk about all of it here today in this episode. It's a lot, and we have extra. It's down below in the description box. So welcome back, Hearts of Gold, for this latest episode. If you are a newbie, welcome. I hope you're enjoying it. We have a whole playlist. While you're here, go ahead, subscribe, like the video. If you have a community tab, please and thank you, share it and let everyone know about Gigi Darling over here talking about everything under the sun regarding the holiday season kickoff, including Halloween and harvest. Okay, so we're halfway there. So shout out to the present and the future and beyond. Shout out to the international Hearts of Gold. Thank you so much, diplomats and my day ones. This is a lot of fun, and I'm so glad I got to do this during production time. Pardon me. Because it's so much going on, and I know I would have downtime in the sense that I wouldn't be able to come live. I don't have time to watch 15 people in one day. I know what I want to do for class culture, and that's what? Add content that will live forever. Okay? Thank you, Hearts of Gold. This has been a blast, and we still have 2 weeks to go. So I'm having a good time, and I hope you are too. Thank you. And guess what? Hashtag 25. Shout out to the future and beyond. We'll be able to look back and go, oh, look at Gigi Darling back when and then. Because I appreciate each and every one of you, my Hearts of Gold, for enjoying this topic. I know I love it. A lot of people want health, wellness, peace, happiness, food security, clothes, shelter, and they don't understand you have to seek it out in order to gain it. Let me say that again. You must seek it out. Hunter, gatherer, in order to gain it. It is not the same even if someone provided and gave it to you. Because be careful, one day that could be taken away from you. One day, download all your videos. You never know. Companies are going out of business. You never know. You better get stopped. You better keep it. You better keep it. You better, take care of you and yours, because if you're out there all alone in the wilderness, then it would not be a good thing. Because think about it. The story of the Tree of Life was about 2 people. Let me say that again. It was about 2 people. It wasn't about a whole culture. Okay, and what topics are we going to talk about? The Tree of Life, the origin of the Tree of Life, what is on the Tree of Life, Garden of Eden, the origin of the Garden of Eden, the snake in the Garden of Eden, Egyptian Tree of Life, the green man in Africa. Let me make a correction here. Fertility, harvesting crops before winter, and Shangri. Okay, I'm almost sure that S should be capitalized. Okay, is La Shangri-La, or did I just say La Shangri-La? Feng Shui. Okay, Shangri-La is going to be capitalized, the S and the L. And then we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Webbies and 2 extras. So after this show, And when I make this live, whenever that is, you will get all the goodies down below. Okay, let's hit it. Let's go. Now, let me show you some images. Yeah, we're getting into the overlays. We're getting into the overlays. Okay, some trees mysteriously have faces on them. I'm claiming a face on that one. He's just sleeping right now. I kind of see two faces. Is it me? Is it me? Okay, you tell me. They're sharing an eyebrow. But anyway, I love, now that is an oddity. Okay, so we're moving into, even though all of these topics fall under oddities and curiosities, let's start showing some, and that is definitely a curiosity and an oddity. Yeah, I see too. Let me know if you see too as well. But yeah, now this story goes way back in time. We have all heard about it. Every culture has their version. We're going to keep it simple, cute. We can delve into this topic anytime during the year. And I've decided that I'm just going to sit back and whatever hits me or wherever I am in my production process, I'm just going to hit live and do a production video about whatever topic we want to. Boom, just a boom, just like that. Boom. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you get all the reminders. And yes, please go over to my information page and hit all of our social media webbies and links. Now I think I have a banner with that on there. I'm getting a lot more organized, but I'm making banners just for certain things. And wait a minute, let me see. I think I incorporated it or I took it away or I don't know. Let me see. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yep. Hello, darlings. Welcome back to Class Culture. Hearts of Gold. We are on fire here in the House of Gold. Please subscribe, like, share, and join the membership today. Okay. Join my other, then you can read the rest. Okay. I like that one. I think I'm going to put that one down closer. Anyway, the tree of life goes back in time. So I wanted to share these overlays with you. Now, then we'll come back to, I have a couple more, but we'll come back to a lot of, let's just say, what they talk about currently and in Hollywood really don't hit on the real. The real is just a field, just like the background. It's either a meadow or a forest with a tree. I mean, really, they make things too over the top, too romanticized, too idealized, and all that stuff. One more time. So that's going to be our tree of life. I saw that picture. I said, "Ooh, I'm going to keep that for." You'll see that in the future. Make sure you go over to my information page and hit art and craft therapy. Thank you. Okay. And in the future, when I start going live on my other channels, or if I drop something on another channel, I will put it here first. I promise you. On here, this channel, my name, my face, Class Culture first. We do have a Class Culture channel. Shout out to Jovi Beauty. So yeah, just get with the program and just kind of follow the pace of things. Thank you so much. All right, moving right along. Now, I'm going to take my time with this subject matter because it's not about religion, not this video. Sorry, not sorry. It's about the topic of, okay? We all know the story of the Garden of Eden. We all know the story of Halloween. I think we're on the 12th video in this series. So we've breezed through a lot. So now we're getting into, like I said, oddities and curiosities after we have touched on some subject matter. Okay, so let's get on with the first one. Let me see. It's probably backwards. No, it's in order. Yay. I always say the tree of life, but here it just says tree of life. Okay. Now, give me a second. I just want to make sure. Yes, you see everything. Oh, I like how the sunlight is peeking out through the back. Okay. The tree of life appears in Norse religion, such as that word. Okay. The world tree, a massive tree, sometimes considered a yew or ash tree. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yew. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back where I was. With extensive lore surrounding ... it. Okay? The tree of life is a fundamental archetype in many of the world's mythology. So, guess what? Take a deep breath and hold on. Every culture has their own version of the tree of life. Sorry, not sorry. The two people in the Bible were on that continent, in that town, at that location. Other people were not. Okay. It's about mythology, religious, philosophical traditions. It's closely related to the concept of the sacred tree. So do your research, delve into it deeper. That's just touching the base of the subject matter. Okay, just a little. So when you put in the images, you get all types of stuff. So I try to go back as far as I can, or get something that's very primitive or ancient. I was even considering using that tree, but I was like, "Ooh, that's for real." There's this place in San Francisco. I'm gonna go again since we the fruit market and everything near where these trees are. They look just like the wampum tree in Harry Potter. I think I shared it with you guys before, but yeah, I was like, oh my God, that's the wampum tree. But here, this is what I meant. When you can find things going back in time, this is regarding the tree of life in the Kabbalah, then you could sort of kind of get what they're talking about, because it was primitive. That's how they drew things. They weren't trying to recreate human imagery and mankind. They were trying to get the point across as to what it was about and what they were doing. They weren't focused on themselves. They didn't have time. They were busy trying to survive, right? Survival. But this was beautiful too. So you can find beautiful old ancient wise trees. How wise is that tree? His roots is where they belong. You know what I mean? And just really kind of delve into what, I don't know. There's just an energy that surrounds nature for me, and I pay attention to it. I tap into it, and I invite you to do the same. However, there's also science, and that's just as fascinating, right? So yeah, there you go. Tree of life, biology, and then there's other imagery that you can look at. Okay, now that's a very old, you know, image. Looks like that's in a book, right? Oh, those are beautiful. Look at that. So every culture does what they kind of want with it, and from that point on, it's up to you what you like. For instance, this is sort of kind of off subject, but it's not. Family trees. You know, everyone is represented by a leaf. Every branch in the tree is represented by a family unit. You know, that type of thing. Okay, here we go. Something that's, you know, it's not old, but it's new, but they are still in the vein of the ancient and primitive. Okay? So, yeah, I like that too. So, you know me, I can keep going on and on and on. But yeah, this is a great start. If this topic is new to you, let me know. You know, and then again, it's science as well. Okay? So, there you go. So, what's the next topic? The origin of the tree of life. Mhm. And every show that has anything to do with supernatural or spirituality or magic always has a tree. The Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, The Lord of the Rings, A Wizard of Oz. It has a talking tree. Okay, so it goes back forever and ever and ever. Sorry, I'm always finding something to do, huh? At the same time I'm recording. Okay, so okay, the Celtic tree of life can be found in most religions and cultures around the world, meaning their version. Let's Sesame Street it. The Japanese tree of life, the Mexican tree of life, the Guatemalan tree of life, the, you know, at the time, what is now Florida tree of life, you know, anywhere. The, you know, Madagascar tree of life. You know, everyone had their version, accept it. It is what it is. Around the world and can be traced right back to ancient Egypt. Why? Because we're humans. We came out and through the continent of Africa, so the same traditions and things spread. Okay, easy. Trees were of the utmost importance. You got to have a tree. Christmas tree, right? Okay. There's almost a tree in everything. Or people in, let's just go back to Africa, things that are made in nature are used for shelter. For instance, you know, roofs. The roofs, what am I trying to say? Roofs. Roofs. It's so hard. Yes, I'm still speaking French during the day. It's really hard. But the roofs, the hatch roofs, those are dead twigs and reeds and whatever, you know, logs to make log houses. Trees are important, so don't sleep on it. They give us shelter and help us live longer. Branches are collected every day for what? Fire, to keep you warm, right? So trees are so very, and I'm gonna highlight that, important. You know, don't get it twisted. That was a little joke. Okay. But images, okay? Same sort of kind of same, you know, but you get a little different stuff. I'm sure that's Sumeria. Okay. You know, different cultures. That's what they meant. It wasn't just one place and not one religion. It just deal with it. Okay. But yeah, I just think it became more serious as time and men and women and cultures and cities and countries evolved. They started documenting it, and it became a part of life versus not entertainment, but study, and versus a way of life, your lifestyle. You had to depend on a tree versus, you know, cities. They built huts and brick housing, things like that. Then you did, it was lesser and lesser dependent on that. You know what I mean? I've seen videos on YouTube where they'll build a house in one day. Everyone in a village will get together and build a new house. Now, trees are different in Africa because some places in Africa, there's so many termites, they don't even build houses with woods. It would be dumb because you'd be sleeping with the bugs, you know. So you have to understand environment as well. So that's another a day somewhere, another subject for another day somewhere in another time. But yeah, you have to, it's about environment as well. So there's an image of the sacred tree. Okay. Trees are, go find a forest near you. For real. For real. Okay. All right. Interesting. I would like to look at that a little closer. Right. It says trees of life, a visual history of scientific diagrams explaining evolution. Interesting, huh? So yeah, we don't want to get too much off the subject. Let's look for some related. Ancient tree of life symbol. Evolution tree of life. Tree of life meaning. Let's do this together. It's probably the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. I get to the point sometimes like, okay, that's enough. Because then you'll just keep going. It's a rabbit hole. No pun intended. So what is on the tree of life? Okay, so let's explore that. What is on the tree of life? Okay, in the Kabbalah, the tree of life is depicted as a symbol that contains 10, whatever that is, or channels, okay, of divine energy and spiritual practice. The tree of life is a fundamental arc. Okay, I already read that. Okay, here we go. Then we'll read the next thing. That looks weird. Give me a second. Something went weird. Okay, here we go. The tree of life or universal tree of life is a metaphor, model, and research tool used to explore the evolution of life and describe the relationships between organisms, both living and extinct. Okay. What does it stand for? Personal growth, strength, and beauty. Striving for greater knowledge. Now that's interesting, right? Because we are going to talk about the Garden of Eden. And it says here, just as the branches of a tree strengthen and grow upwards to the sky, we too grow stronger, striving for greater knowledge, wisdom, and new experiences as we move through life. That is us each and every day here in Class Culture, striving for greater knowledge, wisdom, and new experiences. Because we don't do old, we go forward. Pay attention to my intro, outro before the new ones hit. I've already said all of that. Yeah, out with the old, in with the new. New experience, not the same thing over and over and over and over again. New, 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 new. Pivot forward. Mhm. Now, what are the 12 fruits of the tree of life? I bet you didn't know. So, because I read this before, I'm like, that's less than 12. But anyway, we are called to produce what are the tree of life? What is the tree of life? And the fruits we are called to produce are love, peace, joy, kindness, faith, gentleness, self-control, patience, and goodness. Don't ask me what happened to the other three. Okay. So yeah, nice, right? That's what you're supposed to do every day. Every day. If you're not there, write it down, put it on a sticky, put it on a wall, deal with it. And that's in the Bible per you Christians. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's look at the images. It's probably the same, but that's okay. Don't be shy. Find something new to do and relax. Now, I thought this was interesting. Okay. The actual tree. Now, isn't that beautiful? Oh my God. It's just, that's what I meant. In Africa, trees are different because they don't, it's very rare, especially nowadays, maybe way back 5,000 years ago, there were forests and rivers and things, but trees are different in Africa because of the termites, and they have to be very, very strong, and it's crazy. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? It's not, they're not the same. And you know what I'm doing over here. I mean, look at that. You know that tree is wise. I mean, come on. There are no other trees like it around. Where did it come from? What does the seed look like? What the heck is going on? You know what I mean? It's just, I just want to go to see the trees. Forget the people. I was like, is that real? It's crazy. Okay, get out of there, Deirdre. I was like, what's going on? I'm confused. Okay. Garden of Eden. Yeah, when you see things like that, your mind goes, wow. You know, like, yay, that's magic over there. I don't want the same old, same old. We got the same old, same old. Just, ooh, all that goodness is still there. They might have took some people and brought them over here, but there were still plenty of people still over there. The environment is still over there. The trees are still over there. The land is still over there. The gold, the resources, everything, it's still there. They didn't take everything. So we can grab on to that. So here, Garden of Eden. I like that word, Eden. In Abrahamic religions, the Garden of Eden or Garden of God is also called terrestrial. There you go. Terrestrial paradise is the biblical paradise described in Genesis. So we all know that. Okay. Now we're going to come back and talk about something similar. What is the story of the Garden of Eden? In the Old Testament, biblical earthly paradise inhabited by the first created man and woman, Adam and Eve, prior to their expulsion for disobeying the commandments of God. Now, there was a tree of life and a tree of knowledge. They were able to eat off the tree of life, but not off the tree of knowledge. And somebody broke the rules, and boom. Okay, sorry. Sesame Street. So there you go. One was the tree of life, and the other was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A lot of people leave that off. And I wait sometimes, you know, if I'm having a conversation. And I go, you mean the tree of good and evil? They're like, what is that? Okay. It's in the Bible. Isn't that your religion? Isn't it on the first page? I mean, really. See, sometimes they have to stop rewriting the Bible, I think, because they leave things off. And that ain't good. I'm sorry. Something's bothering me. Stop leaving stuff off. Now, I know how to pronounce the name. Let me put it up there again. A second. The snake had a name. A lot of people don't know that. Nahash. Give me a second.
The following pronunciation is brought.
Oops, I can't do that. Yeah, I can't stand that. Okay. Oh, I think I have it down below. Give me a second. Yeah, I got it. Give me a second. We'll see it again. Okay. Because I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Y'all ain't going to get me. Ooh. And this is down below. Nahash, yeah. And he had a name. So a lot of people don't want to deal with that, but he did. The snake in the Garden of Eden did have a name. Whether that was the name they called it or how they describe it now, but it was Nahash. Okay? So if you look at other images, it's idealized. I mean, this might be okay, but I would take the animals away, and everything is too perfect with the rivers and things. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. But you know how I rock and roll. It's like, no, you're doing too much. This is more like it for me. I can accept that. I can even accept this. Okay? Something natural, not man-made, right? Mm-hmm. Or like, those pictures we just looked at in Africa. Mm-hmm. So give me a second. I think it was a very special tree. That's what I think. Let me put these where they belong. Thank you for waiting. I like doing things in real time. It just makes life that much more easier. Mm-hmm. All right. So, what's next? The origin of the Garden of Eden. Okay? Because every time I take a peek at a topic or I research something, I go deep. I'm seeking knowledge, right? I go deeper and deeper, deeper in my mind. And I go, oh, well, how did that happen? Okay. Now, this sort of kind of says the same thing. Okay. But we're going to go down. I might have passed it. Okay, here we go. The Garden of Eden is the symbolic space of perfect harmony, the place in which absolute happiness reigns. It is nothing less than what is speculated to have been that God imagined as the zenith of creation and paradise, but humanity has sought it on we look for it on planet Earth as if it were a secret garden. I say any space can be made peaceful and harmonious and happy. It depends on the humans that are involved. It's very sacred to have a good, happy, harmonious life on planet Earth. If you can reach that, congratulations. I do it every day. I steal it away. I make sure. I like to meditate. I like to read. I like to be quiet. Silence is golden. Even when we're out celebrating with family and friends, there's those beautiful moments when you look over at the beautiful people that you brought into the world, or the situation, or the environment, or the trees outside, or the sky. Find a perfect space every day. So it can be a metaphor, but it can also have been a real place. I'm not trying to take that away, because here they talk about where it may have existed in the Middle Eastern, okay, near the Euphrates. Sorry. So it's okay if it's not, but it's fun to think about it, okay? And they say here it's not just mythical, so that's fine too. I mean, it doesn't have to be. It is what it is. It doesn't have to be in a particular place. This is the story of Abrahamic tradition. So like I said, in Mexico it's going to be in Mexico, in China it's going to be in China, and in Russia it's going to be in Russia. Okay, it is what it is. So there you go. You got Turkey, Syria, some of my DNAs, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Jordan. So near the Euphrates River. Okay, that's in the Tigris. So there you go. Next. What do I got next? The snake in the garden. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't get freaked out about this stuff. I like to study. I like to read. I like to grab it and, Nahash. is used to identify the serpent that appeared in Genesis, okay? Is portrayed as a deceptive creature or a trickster. Sorry, I'm trying to do different things at once. Give me a second. Sorry, you're just gonna get to hear what I'm hearing. It is what it is. Thought I had something. Okay. I'm multitasking, guys. It is what it is, child. Okay. So let me read it. In Genesis, the serpent is portrayed as a deceptive creature or trickster who promotes as good what God had forbidden and shows particular cunning in its deception. It lies. So if God says that blue is bad, it says blue is good. So it promotes as good what God has forbidden. And I hate the way they word stuff. The snake lies and it tells you to do the exact opposite of what God, the Holy, has forbidden you to do and shows particular cunning in its deception. So if you, let's say, what's the word? Subscribe to that. There he is. You can see him. He's telling you what to do. All you had to do is ignore him. So doesn't that get a lot of people in trouble? I think it's just a morality tale. You got to learn how to ignore people, not listen to them. Even wasting your time listening to them could be considered, quoted fingers in the air, a sin. Who promotes? Why do you want to listen to somebody that's promoting something that's not good? It's forbidden. So I think that was the tale, in my opinion. All right. So let's look at some images. Now you're going to get everything, child. You're going to get, all kind of weirdness. It is what it is. This is nice. I like that one. And look, animals are everywhere. I'm sure they had more than one snake. I'm just saying. So it just so happened that this situation was written about in the Bible. But isn't it interesting, you guys? Shout out to Harry Potter. They had snakes that talked. Okay. And here's Roman, okay, I always mosaics, right? And then you have the weirdness, a lot of stuff going on. Now, the thing about it is I had this discussion with some family and friends, whether it was a fig tree or what, because they were supposed to cover themselves with the fig leaves and stuff. Well, they said they had fig leaves. So apples are not mentioned. I believe it was a fig tree. I do. It's just me. And then you have stained glass. So you see it everywhere. You see it everywhere. It's interesting. It is. I just like looking. I'm just being careful because you don't want no nudity or anything. And then you have the dramatic, imagery. Really trying to bring it home, really trying to scare you. A lot of people were not as much today, but back then were just illiterate. So imagery was everything. It made a difference. Okay. Now, that's silly. I mean, give me a break. It is what it is. You can keep going and going. Sometimes they go a little bit too far, but I like this one as well. Okay. Nice. So yeah, I don't think it was an apple personally. I think it was a fig tree. I sure do. Because they had the fig leaves. I'm like, well, how did the apple leaves ain't that big, y'all? And this is the expulsion. Because they did exactly what they weren't supposed to do. Not that they were bad or good. Maybe that's where he had to live. Maybe it was his job to be there. Snakes do live up in trees, but they were just supposed to follow the rules and they didn't. So there you go. We were basically hunter-gatherers agricultural peoples, tribes, primitives, whatever you want to call us, societies. And we came in contact with good and bad and evil each and every day. Thank God for our shaman, right? Thank God for our homes and our costumes and our hats and our gloves and our weapons and things like that. Yes, we are going to have a show about that. But yeah, some trees we did revere, because maybe they made us feel happy. We could identify in our minds. We're looking at this image and it's forming a face. Therefore, it might be seen friendlier or wise, like an old wise person, right? So our minds do that, and then the Egyptians depicted in their stylized way how important trees are, birds, uh, humans. Trees are also good for the environment, and now they're planting trees along shorelines in countries and cities where they were, mankind is so stupid sometimes. We're tearing down trees, but then they're landslides. Well, roots keep the ground in place. We're fixing a lot of nonsense that happened the last 400 years. So leave it alone. Tearing down forests to make tables. Really? It's a lot of nonsense going on. And thank goodness that we are getting wiser as we become more technical, right? All right. As we evolve and our technology becomes more readily available. I just want to clean that up. So that was the snake in the Garden of Eden. Now let's look at Egyptian tree of life. Okay. So yeah, let's hit that. That's why I wanted to share that picture. All right. Lots and lots of images. Okay. Now, what is the Egyptian tree of life? Now, don't ask me. That's acacia, but Nilotica, okay, is portrayed hugely in Egyptian mythology. It is referred to as the tree of life, and from under this tree, the first gods of Egypt were born. Osiris, god of the underworld, rebirth, and the spirit were also born from an acacia tree. Now, according to lore or the Bible, the box that the Ten Commandments were placed in were acacia. Okay, so that's a little tidbit there. There is over there a book, The Kemetic Tree of Life. Okay, and that's the image you see here, an acacia tree. Okay, so I don't mean to cover that up. I just want to show it to you real fast. Okay. All right. Is the Ankh a tree of life? Interesting. The Ankh or key of life is an ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic symbol that was most commonly used in writing and in Egyptian art to represent the word for life, and by extension as a symbol of life itself. I was always taught that the Ankh was the womb, the ovaries, the fallopian tube with the ovaries attached, the two arms of it. The circle part or the oval part is the womb, then the fallopian tubes and the ovaries, and then the below part is the vagina, the shaft of vagina. That's what I was taught by an Egyptian. So I don't know. It's up to you. Some people think it's a tree. What does wearing an ankh mean? A gentle reminder of life and a celebration of life, because that's where life comes from. So there you go. That's what I was told. So what does cross with loop on top mean? They keep saying it signifies life. Life. Okay, so there you go. surmounted by a loop and known in Latin as the crus ansata. Okay, and it's a talisman as well. Okay, there you go. So you can keep going on and on and on. It's a lot. Each of these topics I could hit all of these through the whole year, but we're not going to do that. I'm just saying this is here for us, for you, and for me to go back and to revisit. So there you go. And it's there's always usually a rabbit there as well. So you have the Easter rabbit, you have the Alice in Wonderland rabbit. I'm trying to think of the other one. Tortoise and the Hare. There's another one. So I'm trying to think. It'll hit me. There's another fairy tale, lore, myth. What is it? It's on the top of it's on the tip of my tongue, on the top of my head. There's another one. Okay, it'll come to me later. Or you can remind me later. But yeah, and here's another one. And there's the acacia tree. Very nice, right? And it is considered the tree of life. I like how it has the birds in there as well. That's beautiful. You would have thought they would have came up with the concept of flight because they love birds as well and wings. All right. So what's the next thing? The Green Man. Yes, I love this. I love this one. All right. Because why? Just like I said in Wizard of Oz and Lord of the Rings and in Game of Thrones, there was a talking or wise tree. So this goes way back. And Hollywood has been, talking about it for ages. The Green Man and very occasionally the Green Woman is legendary, being primarily interpreted as a symbol of rebirth, representing the cycle of new, I would say, life. Okay? Growth. There he is. That occurs every spring. Okay? So it has to do with spring, but we always have the spookies in there during the holidays and the bad, spooky tree in the Wizard of Oz that was mean to Dorothy when she got the apple, right? Why was an apple tree? I think that had a little biblical little homage to it. Okay. So yeah, it's supposed to be in spring, but he's always there. He's probably just sleeping during Halloween. And no, he's not evil, so I'm not even going to read that. They kill me with that. The Green Man forest spirit has traveled the world for centuries. So they're supposed to travel. They're supposed to walk, just like in Lord of the Rings. They don't have to stay in one place. They can walk. They get around, or they take their acorns and what? Sprout somewhere else. So they do travel. Okay. If you want to believe in that lore. Okay. So you can go outside, or you can put in the Green Man and buy the little facial things that go in the trees and make you a green man. So the Green Man in Africa, right? You know me, I dig. Let's see what happens. The Green Man, again, the same thing. Okay, sorry. So you can see the webbies that we're going to look at. Oh, where was I? Give me a second. Okay. Where did the Green Man originate from? That ain't it. That's not it. Give me a second. It must be. I think it's in my website. I think it was in my website search. We'll do it in real time. It's fine with me. Okay, here we go. So, nope, that's not it. I'm talking about Beyonce, child. You can't get away from all of that. Okay. The green man is believed to symbolize the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, the symbol of godhood within the male and its relationship with the transcendent. Okay, transcendent. Transcendent. I'm sorry. To make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Copy. Transcendent. I'm tongue tied.
Transcendent.
Transcendent. Okay. Remember, I couldn't say Christianity like a year ago. Transcendent, life force, our goddess. So it's either a symbol of God or a goddess. Okay, the green man. So when I put in the green man in Africa, then they delve a little deeper. So it's a symbol of a god or a goddess. The female expression of divinity. He is a pagan symbol who heralds in spring after a long winter and the renewal of lush vegetation. So he just sleeps and waits. Strongly connected to Jack in the Green and the May King, as well as John Barleycorn during the fall harvest. The figure known as the Green Man is a god of vegetation and plant life. He symbolizes the life that is found in the natural plant world and in the earth itself for a moment, the forest. So that's nothing evil about that. So get out of here. So let's look at images. Okay. So you can buy this stuff anywhere. You see them everywhere. Just put one in your little garden on your lawn and enjoy. You see them in architecture. It's the green man. He's okay. He's not mean. He's nice. What is he doing here? That's weird. But yeah, here is a farmer proud of his crop. You know, we come from a rich heritage of hunter, gatherer, and agriculture. So embrace it. Here is some more mosaics. Why is that man in green? They're killing me. But yeah, this is more or less what we're talking about. We're just going to leave it there because I don't know what's going to pop up. So yeah, that's who he is and or she. And it's something to celebrate or have fun with in your garden or in your decorating or during the Halloween celebrations. Okay? So yeah, that is so funny with the people in the green. Now, a shout out to the Aurora Borealis. Yeah, I'm going to wear my green again this holiday. Stay tuned. Oh yeah. My children were born in North Dakota, so we saw it all the time. Beautiful green. All right, so what's next? Okay, the green man in Africa. Did I say that already? I sure did. Fertility, because now we're talking about men and women, y'all. Mm-hmm. Now these are going to be a little longer, so thanks and sit back and relax. Now we know what fertility is. It's the ability to produce offspring through reproduction. Okay, sexual maturity, boinking, whatever you want to say. We know what that is, right? Okay. We all know what it is, right? So I think that's beautiful. Okay. So again, I wanted to point out, like, we don't want to do too much graphic because they get weird. Mhm. Okay, that's pretty. Okay. Look at the pomegranate. You can't make this stuff up. Okay. But see the oval part, the fallopian tubes, the ovaries, and the shaft, the ankh. Okay. I think it's beautiful. That is the symbol of life right there. That get over it. I don't care what people recreate, how creative you are, how realistic things can be made, how skilled, craft, talented, whatever. That is Mother Nature. That is the ultimate machine. It creates human beings. Mhm. Nothing like it. Now, fertility. So with fertility comes harvesting, giving birth, being fruitful. Okay? So harvesting crops before winter. See, we live in a modern world. We've forgotten, we've lost touch. Well, if you class culture, you haven't. But I often think of people who still live this lifestyle and thank and honor and meditate about the people who live that lifestyle in my DNA. It's obvious, right? So here and down in the extra extra, I got some goodies down there. Okay. We talk about it. We talk about, oops, wrong one. The keys to harvesting in winter are choosing cool season crops, planting at the correct time, and choosing the correct season extenders for your climate. Some crops, like Brussels sprouts, can be planted in late summer and held over in high tunnels for an extended period. So then you start getting the how-tos and the what's and the good and the food. Because back then, there were no refrigerators. You had to harvest, store, contain, eat immediately. Haven't you heard of what fruit is in season? That's when you ate it. There was no such thing as frozen strawberries. You ate them when you found them or when you cultivated them, and you had to eat them right away. Or if you have a big field, then you would share and or barter because they would just spoil. Because what if you didn't have try living without a refrigerator for a week? We did. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous. It was like, oh my God. But yeah, interesting. Every variety will be ready in about 105 to 115 days after sowing, after you plant it. If you leave the stalks and roots in place, you may get a second harvest from early varieties. Yeah, I love planting and harvesting and gardens and things like that. What months are harvest season? Late September to early December. So we are in harvest season right now. So sowing, celebrating, collecting, canning, stashing, sharing. That's why things like pumpkins were more valuable and turnips and potatoes because they could keep through the winter. Had to keep them away from rodente and all of that other bugs and shit. But yeah, it's a lot going on. Okay. And then let's look at some images. Go to your farmer markets, please, and thank you. I love going to my farmer market every weekend. If anything, it's just good exercise. I'm not sure if they're going to have it through the winter. I'm almost sure they do. But I'm so grateful it comes in the city because you would have to get on the whatever car, bus, train, airplane, and every weekend. I'm glad the farmers bring it downtown San Francisco. I love it. Maybe I'll take some pictures for you guys. And harvesting is important, an activity. Don't buy everything in the grocery store, please, and thank you. Support your local farmers. Now, this looks like a very happy, a very smart, a very productive farmer looking at his harvest, doing his work, whatever, he's doing. I just love the images. Farming is a very ancient, old, and honorable thing. And it just harkens all the way back to the beginnings of mankind. And we're going to talk about that too in the websites. But yeah, portion of the show. Yeah, I just love that. Love it, love it, love it. Now, Shangri-La. I think that just having this topic, even no matter what you're doing, should be about a little bit of Shangri-La. What is Shangri-La? Like, he looks very happy in that moment. But it's a fictional place, so it is capitalized, described in a 1933 novel, Lost Horizon. It's a mythical, here we go, harmonious village, gently gilded from a lamasery enclosed in the western end of the Kunlun Mountain. I think that's just a fake place. But let's look up, let me make sure I'm pronouncing this word correctly. And the thing about learning a new language and even perfecting your own native tongue. Lamasery. It's a monastery of llamas. Okay, lamasery. If you're not doing that for your brain every day, I don't even know who you are. Okay. A remote, beautiful, imaginary place where life approaches perfection. That utopia, that can happen to anyone, anywhere on planet Earth, right now where you sit right now. Try it. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Demand it. We are not supposed to have chaos and noise and yelling and shouting, and even, you know how much I love music. Take a break and just meditate and get some peace of mind, right? So let's get into these websites. Okay, let me add them. So we're going to do 3 at a time, and everything is down below for us everywhere. Now, I thought about it today. I said, oh, I'm putting all these websites, and most of them I think will live forever. Even if they don't, or if you come across one that's not working anymore, always let me know. Because not that I'll be looking for that, but every once in a while, I will go back and something's not working. I'll clean it up. But if you happen to find, as a heart of gold, thank you very much, something, I make a mistake or add something that didn't work, or maybe I left off, the last character, let me know. That's all you got to do is just let me know. So what do we want to look up first? Which one do we want to look up first? Okay, this one. Okay. The Tree of Life. So this is life, hope, and truth. Is there a tree of life? Was there ever such a tree? Womp, 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 womp. Okay? So we talked about the book of Genesis. Okay? Some people are still looking for it. There were 2 trees. We talked about it. The purpose of the 2 trees. This is what I like. Okay. So he commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in that day that you eat of it you shall surely die. So they were told. It is clear that this was the only forbidden tree, or what is commonly called the forbidden fruit. The life-giving tree, by contrast, was free for the taking. It should be plain, therefore, that the evil was in the fruit itself, It should be plain, therefore, that the evil was not in the fruit itself, but in the choice to eat it against God's clear commandment. You shall not eat. Easy. It's just that easy. There's consequences. And we all know what the consequences were. So you can read the rest. Okay? There's levels to it. All right. So what's the next one? Just making sure I pick the right one. Okay. All right. In this blog, they talk about starting temples. Okay. So they talk about another tree of life. Okay. Around 100,000 years ago, our ancestors in southern Africa started using dream herbs. Now, we talked a little bit about that. And doing rituals in place like Python Cave, Pinnacle Point. These are actual places. One herb they use for dreaming is that word. Okay. Another is that word. Dreaming was the very beginning of religion and culture. Now, we already talked about that. There it is. And you're going to read the rest. Dreaming was the very beginning of religion and culture. Now, I love saying Papua New Guinea. You know I do, because, we got relatives in there. But yeah, they talk about it as well. And then they talk about here around 700,000 BC, humans made their way out of Africa across parts of Asia, then made it to Australia. The evidence of this is a skeleton known as the Moongal man. The Aboriginals in Australia evolved right alongside the rest of us. Right? But yeah, that's why they talk about dream time and like meditating. Now, then they talk about, now I knew I said y'all was going to do y'all thing, but here we go. Eventually, I like when the crossovers happen. Eventually, these people made their way back to Africa, and the Egyptian tree of life is the acacia, which is usually depicted on some form of living being with branches, giving someone a cup of liquid. Okay. So they made drinks from acacia, and acacia bark is known to contain some hallucination things. Okay. So, and then look. Okay. One more. Moses was raised by Pharaoh as an Egyptian prince with a full Egyptian education and religious background. After his mother sent him down the river and he was, picked up and adopted, he was found in the reeds. According to the tradition, Moses wrote the Bible. I don't know what that part meant. He didn't write in the Bible, but they were just saying how it's written in the Bible. Okay? So yeah, they go on and on and on and on and on. So there is a wonderful image there. There's another image there, and how they make stuff with it. And don't ask me what the ants were doing, but yeah, there you go. And here it is here one more time. Okay, so let me get rid of that. You know me, I like to do things in real time. All right. Next. I love this stuff. I would be doing this anyway. I'm just sharing it with you. My heart's a goat. Trees in ancient Egypt. Now, I know I'm going to get a bunch of stuff, y'all, so it is what it is. That's not what I'm looking for. You can read that. So here they list each and every tree. I love it. Okay. The lotus, the doom, the mulberry. There's an image there on a piece of pottery. There she is, what we are looking at or looked at. Okay. Yeah, I'm going fast because it's an hour. Sycamores as well. So down here, ancient and lost civilizations. And that's probably as far as I'll go. The other stuff, if you want to, you can take a peek. All right. So what is next? Yeah, I love that. Ooh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, we got like 5 more. Okay, let's do it. So trees are sacred. We can all agree to that. Trees were part of lore and magic and celebration and culture and survival and existing. They fed us, they sheltered us, they provided us with weapons and wood and everything, fruit, vegetables, everything, fire, wood, everything. Okay, trees are important, so enjoy. So we already did that one. I won't do that one again. You know what? Oop, why am I doing that twice? Yeah, that's silly. Give me a second. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on top. Give me a second, right in real time. Don't you love computers? I know I do. Okay. So we don't want that. Now we only have 2 more. There we go. And then you have 2 extras down there. So take a peek. I'm going to start doing that some more. I'm going to get to the point, maybe in 2022, all my videos will have an extra. No matter what. Good information. All right. So, sorry. I'm almost there. Okay. Yay. Okay, we did it. Give me a second. I know it's a little quiet time, but I'm just trying to do this properly. Here we go. Excellent. Okay. Next. I just like getting it in order. I like it being in order. Okay. Now, we were talking about farmers in Africa and agriculture. I wanted to definitely share this feel-good story. Now, let me make sure it's in the right order. Sorry. It's not in the right order, yeah. Let me put it in the right order. Just because. Once it's done, you don't have to go back and do it no more. It's how it's supposed to be. There we go. Give me a second. Okay, back at you. All right. Agriculture News talks about how current day farmers are getting help. We're feeding ourselves. Food security. Africa is wonderful. It's beautiful. It's how it should have been. They're getting rid of that old way of thinking of one entity supplies billions of people. No, billions of people should be supplying themselves, so yeah, we're getting away from that. It's ridiculous. Give it away for free. We've stolen enough from the continent of Africa. We're supposed to give back. So yeah, this is good news stuff. Okay, so they're talking about how current day farmers on the continent of Africa are getting the assistance they need. Good. That's how it's supposed to be. So here they talk about crop production, animal agriculture, food security, and more. So tap into it. I think they should have, even though they have safari and all of that other stuff, I think they should tap into farming tourism, right? Help them, applaud them, celebrate them, teach them, feed them, embrace them. Okay? She's in flux. She's growing crops, man. She's happy. She's fed. She's busy. She has something to do every day. She's clothed. She's productive. She's harvesting. She's living. She's alive. She's not depressed. She's not beat down. She's learned. She's busy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I go on and on. So, yeah, I love that. I said, yeah, we're going to talk about that. So we've gone from the tree of life to being fruitful, to fertility, to mankind, to feeding them, to being prosperous, to reproducing. It's all tied in. It's celebrating. You know, they're going to celebrate. That's her Shangri-La. She's harvesting. Okay? So, yeah, you got to, I mean, all of that matters. What am I doing behind here? Give me a second. And I know it matters to you too. Here in class culture, the Hearts of Gold, we get down like this. This is what we like to read about. Mm-hmm. So 2 more and then we're done. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Okay, so we're going to end with the Green Man legend and mythology. But next is the Garden of Eden story a parable of the original sin? Well, you know, me and the word sin, we really don't get along. But I get what they're saying. They messed up. That's all. And I like this imagery. And this is a recent article, so enjoy. This is the Jerusalem Post. And then they have other world news, Middle East, U.S. politics, Israel news, the virus, and ... You can go all the way down Kabbalah. Okay, health and wellness, Judaism. Okay, so this is good. This is good. And they talk about, because I wanted something current, you know, and they talk about the same thing we already talked about. So, but they have questions, and then we got pop-ups, right? But here, the denial of death by the social psychologist Becker. Wow, did you see that? Okay. Won a Pulitzer Prize in 1974. According to Becker, it was not sex as Freud had postulated, but death that underlies our human experience, specifically the fear and denial of our own mortality. Our obsession with sex hides a deeper obsession with death, since, like eating and bathroom functions, sex reminds us we are bodies that decay and die. Like animals, we eat, eliminate, and procreate. I said, oh! So shout out to him. I love that. Everything from table manners to disgust with our own waste to the endless dance surrounding sexuality is an attempt to deal with the reality of corporal reality, a death, of having a dying. I'm not obsessed with dying. I hope you're not either. Here, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm sure I'm not. Learn a new language. You get used to looking stuff up. Words you never see ever and will never say ever in life. So I'm going to have to mute myself because they're not popping me. Hold on. Yeah, corporal reality. It's a STEM word. Death. It just really annoys me when they do that. All right. So, and then there's one more. Okay, here it is. And again, is it a parable of the original sin? Not quite. God, the soul you have given me is pure. Rather, the story of Adam and Eve explains the gift of life, the dilemma of death, the human need to reach beyond the grave, and the religious promise of eternity. So, yay. I really enjoyed that. And going back to this. So everything really is about life, even though we have death. I mean, people are born every day. It is what it is. So the Green Man legend and mythology. Here are a series of articles, research, and speculation on the legend of rebirth. Green Man, same thing. Cute picture. Look at the little rodente in there. That's just too cute. I love an acorn. So yeah, this is fun. Oh, let me start over here. Sorry. I'm going too fast, y'all. So over here where it says home, you can also click other things. Like this is no affiliation. It's just good stuff. And I love in the top, it's the moon and the two phases. But yeah, Green Man sculptures. There's a shop. There's the artists. So get your life. I'll probably revisit it and buy something. The goddess, gods, jewelry, dragons. We're going to talk about creatures. Here, water spouts and moon sculptures. So you can find other images and symbols that we did not even touch on. We ain't got all the time. We just want to do one little cute little thing at a time. Witches, fairies, okay, cats, ancestors, because what did we just talk about? Life and death, birth and rebirth, sin and good, Shangri-La and not. Okay, so yeah, you could create that anywhere. Okay, so we talked about who the Green Man is. You can read it again, Joe. So here's a poem. Okay, and then, see, I'm going too fast. Categories. Okay, so I got you, boo. Dragons, fairies, books, magazines, sculptures, hairs. Okay, so it's Wizard of Oz. No, there wasn't a. Okay, let me slow down. Alice in Wonderland had a rabbit. It's somebody else is driving me nuts. Of course, we're not talking about the Easter Bunny. Peter Cottontail. Look, I'm gonna look it up. Bite me. Fairy tales. Rabbits. I know I'm gonna. The Velveteen Rabbit. Peter Rabbit. I swear to you, there's another one, and I don't even care. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue. I guess that's it. Alice in Wonderland. You know, the White Rabbit in Time, or the Pocket Watch. I guess that's it. I just feel like there's another one, and it won't come to me. Come to me. Come to me. Because it's they're always seen under the trees. I think that's it then, huh? I'm looking at the top over here, you guys. I'm not pulling this up. No, ma'am. No, sir. Yeah, I think that's it. I could have sworn there's another. I bet as soon as I click off, I'm going to remember, child. And I'm going to put it at the bottom. We're going to laugh together. It's not coming to me. The tortoise and the hare is almost like a riddle. So anyway, getting back to the Green Man. Okay. That is how it all ties together in my mind. And I hope you sort of figured that out as far as trees of life, the purpose of the holidays, the celebration, how important they are to us, how long and ancient and primitive the story and the practice and the meaning and the lore is, because trees were definitely part of our survival every day. Okay, So yeah, Jack in the Green. All right. So yeah, that's it. There. Okay, we can leave on that one. Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you, Hearts of Gold, for another successful episode in Oddities and Curiosities. And I think I got all the images off of there. I sure did. And it doesn't matter which one you choose. Just choose one that you like and it has the meaning, the purpose of it. It's not too over the top or not too silly. Or think about it from a child's point of view. What are they thinking when they look at that? And can you sit down and tell the story of the green man? That's not too scary, and from your mind, from your memory, or you can even write it down in your grimoire. Thank you, Hearts of Gold. This has been fun. I will see you next time. Hit all the reminder buttons on all the upcoming shows. I appreciate you. This is a lot of fun. I wouldn't change it for the world. And we got so much more coming up. Don't worry. I will keep you on track all the time here in Class Culture. Okay? Bye!